Chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā bhagavati uttamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki Shṛṇvatam sakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtana hridayantasto bhadrani suhrid Hridayantasto bhadrani vidunoti suhrid satam Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param guruve gaurachandraya radhikaya tadalaye krishnaya krishna bhaktaya tad bhaktaya namo namaha He Krishna karuna sindhu dinabandhu jagatpate gopesha gopika kanta radha kanto namostute Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna, dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for taking out your valuable time to read and hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the ripened fruit of all the Vedic knowledge. By reading Bhagavatam, all the impurities are destroyed. So, without any further delay, let's dive into this ocean of nectar, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So, yesterday we read till text number 24, Canto 9, Chapter 8, entitled The Sons of Sagara Meet Lord Kapiladeva. So, Asmanja's son, Aṁśumān, the grandson of Sagara, has met Kapiladeva. With awe and reverence, he is offering wonderful prayers that you are the Supreme Lord. Even Brahma cannot understand me. What to speak of creature made by Brahma? He is, out of with great humility approaching Lord Kapiladeva. Unlike his uncles, referring to 60,000 sons of Sagar Maharaj, who were very proud, and then that's why they were burned to ashes. So pride will lead to ruination. Humility will lead to great fortune, great benedictions. So let's read text 25. Tvanmaya rachite loke vastu buddhya grihadishu brahmanti kama lobharishya moha vibhranta chetasaha. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O my Lord, those whose hearts are bewildered by the influence of lust, greed, envy, and illusion are interested only in the false hearth and home in this world created by your Maya. Attached to home, wife, and children, they wander in this material world perpetually. Hare Krishna. So, who is speaking this? The grandson of Sagar, namely Aṁśumān, to Kapiladeva, who is the Supreme Lord's incarnation. Those who are influenced by lust, anger, greed, envy, these are like the three gates to hell. Trividham narkasya dvam dwaram nashnam atmanaha kama krodhas tatha lobhas tasmad etam triyam tajet. In Bhagavad Gita, there are so many verses talk about anger, so many verses talk about lust, krodhat bhavati sammohas, dhyayato vishyan punsa sangasteshu sangat sanjayate kama. So kam, krodh, lobh, moh, mad, matsar, these are the 6 vices. Now Janmashtami is coming. Before Krishna was born, the Shadgarbhas were born and they were destroyed by Kamsa. So when the 6, of course, this is the analogy to understand, when the 6 impurities are destroyed, then with the mercy of Guru, the womb of Devaki was made fit for the Lord to come and enter. Similarly, our heart is like that womb where we want to invite Krishna. But the heart which is full of lust, anger, greed, envy, this darkness, is not a fit womb, because Krishna loves butter. Butter is soft and pure. The soft-heartedness, the pure-heartedness represents freedom from anarthas. lust, anger, greed, envy. So we can meditate upon this since Janmashtami is this coming in a few weeks. So pure-hearted, and then soft-hearted. Soft-hearted means compassionate heart. Paradukha dukhi, parasukha sukhi. No envying others. To be genuine well-wisher of others. That's soft-heartedness. So then that person can invite Krishna. Rather, Krishna would come because he likes to steal. He'll steal the heart of such a person who has soft and pure heart. Freedom from anarthas and soft-heartedness. So those who are covered by these modes, they are only interested in the temporary things of this world. How can I get better home? How can I get better comforts, etc.? Attached to home, family, wealth, beauty, things of the world. What will happen? Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi jatare, jatare shainam. Again and again taking birth in the different wombs, different species, different mothers, attachment to home, family, and then deep dark well. It won't be able to come out. So that's what Aṁśumān is saying. Great lesson here. So let's read the next verse, which is text 26. Anyone wants to read this one? Yes, Karthik Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, Sanat Pranam. Text 26. Adhyana sarva bhutat mam kamakar karmendriyasaya moha paso dridhas chinno bhagavams tava darsanat. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O super soul of all living entities, O personality of Godhead, simply by seeing you, I have now been freed from all lusty desires, which are the root cause of insurmountable illusion and bondage in the material world. So in this verse, just by glancing at the beautiful form of the Lord, he's saying that he's freed from all the lusty desires. This just kind of reminds me of one of the great South Indian devotees, Annamacharya. And, I watched the movie when I was young. And in that movie, he was so occupied with his family life and so many things. And then by the instruction of the Lord, one day he happens to visit the temple and he sees the deity of Lord Venkateshwara in Tirupati. And the moment he sees the form of the Lord, he just completely transforms. His mind just transforms within a matter of seconds. And he thinks within himself that all these days I have been just hankering around the beauty around me in the form of wife or or like the parents and everything that is material, but the moment he sees the Lord, he just, like, his heart melts and he thinks that there's nothing beautiful on this planet than the beautiful form of the Lord. So while reading this specific verse, that particular incident or that scene has just flashed into my mind. That's a we need to be really fortunate enough to continue to feel that way every second, whenever we see the beautiful form of the Lord. And I think that should be ideally all our goal. All of our goal is that whenever we see the form of the Lord or think about it, we should be more attracted towards it compared to anything else. So you can add more, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Karthik Prabhu, so much for sharing this wonderful story and reading this verse. Yes, the Lord is the one who can destroy the effects of Maya, right? Otherwise, on our own, it's very difficult. As mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Devi Esha Gunamai Mam Maya Duratya Mamevi Prapadyanti Maya Metam Tarantite 7.14. Quite famous verse, often quoted. So when we engage our eyes, Mukunda Ling Alya Darshanam Drishav, as Amrish Maharaj, the eyes are gifted. Many people don't have eyes, but we have the eyes. We should engage those to take darshan of the Lord. But what will happen? By seeing you, simply by seeing, simple oral reception or simple visual perception, the deity in the temple is not different from the Supreme Lord. It has all the potential to destroy, uproot all our anarthas, which are the root cause of the illusion. And there are so many devotees who come and just take darshan of the Lord. His Grace Vishishika Prabhu was mentioning once that so many people, they come and just stand and just relish the beauty of the Lord. And we should drink the beauty of the Lord and absorb. Devotees take darshan very elaborately. It's looking at his anklets, looking at his nails. Oh, what kind of colors. Oh, he has tulasi also on his lotus feet. Oh, today they have put a ring, the blue color ring. It's looking so beautiful on the Lord's. Then they meditate on the calves. Oh, the beautiful paint, the beautiful dhoti, the yellow dhoti, the blue dhoti, the red dhoti, meditating upon that. And we should, some devotees kind of do that exercise also with their kids. So they'll rest it there and then they'll ask, okay, or after going to the temple, they'll ask that, okay, what was Krishna, the color of the dress he was wearing? What was Radharani carrying in his right hand for Krishna? So it should be a meditation. Sometimes we may see deities, but we may be lost somewhere else. I'm talking about myself, not to anyone. Or we may go to the temple, we may have darshan, but if someone asks, well, what was Krishna, carrying in his hand today? Oh, sorry, I don't know. He was carrying something. Sometimes, in temple they give a rope, sometimes they give a stick, sometimes they give flute, sometimes they give different articles, different themes, especially in Alachua, I've seen that. Very, very personal care of deities, actually. Very, very, and so many exalted devotees are there. Such nice dresses, such nice deity worship. So if we see with that vision, then certainly all anarthas will be overcome. And that's basically the cause of material bondage. So, yes, Sudhir Prabhu, want to say something or read next?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. And also when Prabhuji was saying about, the eyes, Annamaya Acharya, so I also remember about this Dhanurdas, you also explained many times. So he was very addicted to his wife's eyes. But once, Ramanujacharya asked him to, look at Lord Ranganath's eyes, he became captivated. So any, part of the Lord, I thought, Prabhuji, that was very nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, please.
Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees, then text number 27. Śrī Sukha Uvacha Itham Gītānubhavastam Bhagavan Kapilo Muni Aṁśumāntam Uvechedam Anugrihya Dhiyanrupa. Translation by His Divine Grace C.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O King Parikshit, when Aṁśumān had glorified the Lord in this way, the great sage Kapila, the powerful incarnation of Vishnu, being very merciful to him, explained to him the path of knowledge. So, Prabhuji, I think in continuation, so he's telling to Parikshit Maharaj, so Aṁśumān glorified the Lord Kapila, who is none other than Lord Krishna, and he is an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. So he mercifully submitted him, unlike his uncles, who were very, not of a humble nature. But here we can see that Aṁśumān is very humble, and he surrendered to the Lord and asked his forgiveness on behalf of his uncles. Please add, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you so much. Very nice. And very nice contrasting point. Bhagavad Gita also mentions that how we should approach great soul. What was that verse?
Tadvidhi pranipatena pratipashnena sevaya padekshanti te gnanam gnaninas-tattvadarshinaha.
Very nice. What's the number? Who will tell the number of that? Ishan?
4.37, I think.
7.
Raise your hand if you know the number.
Krishna is telling he knows, Prabhuji.
34. Yes, 34.
Yes, 434. So Bhagavatam basically shows Bhagavad Gita in action. So it showed that how the uncles didn't approach rightly. If we approach a great soul with pride, we'll be burned to ashes. If we approach the Supreme Lord with pride, we'll be burned to ashes. But on the contrary, if we approach with humble demeanor, pranipat, bow down ourselves, take shelter, that's what he's doing. He's accepting his fallen state and the Lord's greatness. Chinmaya bhaskara tumi kiranira kana ami, Prabhu tumi ami tora dasa, charane piyusha tava mama sukha suvebhava, tava nam amrita mura asha. The Lord, you are great, I am fallen. You are like sun, I am like a kiran, the particle of ray of sun. Who am I before you? So I bow down unto you. And in that, the Lord was pleased, and the Lord offered full blessings. The Lord offered transcendental knowledge. So if we approach with the right attitude, we will open the doors to transcendental path. The Lord explained him, the Lord being very merciful. The Lord was merciful to others also, but they didn't want to receive that mercy. Because the nectar flows top down only. Electricity flows high potential, low potential, water high to low. But if someone thinks, no, I am higher, then how can, then the mercy cannot go up. So we have to bow down. So let's see what the Lord said. Yes, Ishan, Prabhu. Puna Mataji.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Ashvayam Nityaṁ Vashta Pitamaha Pashustava Imeja Pitaro Dagda Gangambo Ranshti Netarat. Purport and translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The personality of Godhead said, "My dear Aṁśumān, here is the animal sought by your grandfather for sacrifice. Please take it. As for your forefathers who have been burned to ashes, they can be delivered only by Ganga's waters and not by any other means." Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji, back to you.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. It's so amazing, right? That, yes, Vinayak, you want to say something?
Oh, no, Prabhuji, I was just asking to read.
Oh, okay. It's so amazing to observe here that even he has not even expressed his desire. He had basically two desires: figure out the horse and to help to look for the uncles. He already saw the ashes. He was very intelligent enough to know that these are the ashes of the uncles. And the Lord, knowing the heart, is telling them, okay, you can take the horse, but for uncles, you need to get Ganga. There is no other way. Na itarat. They can be delivered only by the Ganges. So let's see what happens further. Yes, Vinayak Prabhu, you can please read.
Text by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tam parikramaya sirasa prashadhyahayam anyayat sagarastena pashuna yagna sesham samapayat. Rajesh, shall I read the translation?
Please.
Thereafter, Aṁśumān circumambulated Kapila Muni and offered him respectful obeisances. Bowing his head after fully satisfying him in the way, Aṁśumān brought back the horse meant for sacrifice, and which the horse Maharaj Sagara performed the remaining ritualistic ceremonies. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa. Thank you so much. This is a way of kind of saying bye to great personalities or to the Supreme Lord is by circumambulating. We see that multiple times. Anytime a devotee or Supreme Lord are like parting ways or going back to their homes or abodes, whatever, the devotee circumambulates the Lord, the Guru, temple, etc. So therefore we should also, when we get out of the temple, we kind of bow down. We should bow down before and after, and in the middle also. So he offered his respects, bowing down his head, did the circumambulation, and fully satisfying him. So the Lord is happy. He bowed down, he said wonderful prayers, his mood was appropriate. So in short, he had a very nice disposition. And in what was the outcome? Mercy. So let's see what happens when the horse was brought back and the ceremonies were done. This brings to the last verse. Mataji's want to read? Yes, Nandini Mataji want to read?
Dandat Prabhu, Dandat Pranam devotees, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Text 30. Rajyamanshutmatenyasya nispruho mukta bandhanaha aurvo padishta margena lebhe gatim anuttamam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After delivering charge of his kingdom to Aṁśumān, and thus being freed from all material anxiety and bondage, Sagar Maharaja, following the means instructed by Aurava Muni, achieved the supreme destination, purport. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purports of the 9th canto, 8th chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled The Sons of Sagara Meet Lord Kapiladeva. So here we see that they're following the instructions of Aurva Muni, and actually it's a very nice change in this chapter that their family priest in the last 7 chapters was Vasishtha Muni, and now it's they're taking instructions from Aurva Muni, and here they is saying that Aṁśumān left the kingdom and all the bondage, and now he's following the means instructed by the spiritual master to attain the supreme destination as a Rajarshi should do, and he's following the footsteps of Prithu Maharaja and other great Rajarshis, and leaving the kingdom behind like a person leaves stool behind. Back to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So this brings us to the end of chapter 8. Just a quick summary here. So this chapter is about the sons of Sagar Maharaj. And so we were talking about the dynasty of Rohita, right? So from Rohita was Harita, and like that there are multiple sons. Then Bahuka, and Bahuka's later had and Bahuka died due to old age. One of his wives wanted to die with him. Okay, but Aurava Muni, so it came earlier also, forbade her because she was pregnant. But the co-wives had fed poison to kill the child in the womb of the co-wife. So Gara means poison and Sa means together. So this child came born with poison, is Sagar. So in short, Aurva Muni was very instrumental in saving or helping Sagar to be born. Otherwise, if they would have killed if she would have been Sati, then Sagar would not have been there. So quite instrumental. And Sagar Maharaj was very noble, kind. Then his family is mentioned. And Sagar was doing a yagya, not ordinary yagya, but Ashwamedh yagya, which is very, very difficult. So Indra comes and steals the horse and puts where? All the way in Patal Loka, the lowest of the 14 planetary systems. Now Sagara's sons, 60,000 sons, dig a trench, 60,000 yojanas deep in the ground, and then further continue to dig 10,000 more, get to Patala. And we discuss this story again and again, that they were proud. They thought, oh, we are powerful sons of this, and that's what Kunti Maharani says, Janmeshwara Shuta Shri Bhedamana Madapuman. High birth, wealth, beauty, etc. may lead to pride. It often leads to pride, except for a few rare souls. So, and that's exactly happened. They were proud of their parentage and their own strength, and they disrespected Kapila Muni by trying to kill him, by jumping to a false conclusion, by assumptions that this person is the person who has stolen the horse. We are 60,000, he is single, let's kill him. And he said, there's a power of the mantra. And of course, their internal heat of the body, multiple reasons are explained, and then burned to ashes. So then they didn't show up. They were waiting for the horse, now waiting for these 60,000 sons. They sent the son of Asmanjas. Asmanjas was another son of Sagara. And as his name is Asmanjas, his activities were also very, very mystic. And he knew about, previous life, mystic power. So there's a short story about Asmanjas, which is very mystical as his name. So then Asmanjas' son was Aṁśumān, who was very noble. And then we read about how he met Maharaj or Kapila Muni, how he recognized his greatness, how he was so humble in his demeanor, how he offered such wonderful prayers from text 21 to 26. And by doing so, the Lord was very merciful to him. Yathamam prapadyante tam satev bhajami. If you try to show pride in front of the Lord, then all we'll get will be burnt up. But if we approach the Lord with a humble disposition, then we will be recipient of great mercy. As we approach, he'll reciprocate accordingly. So again, Bhagavad Gita in action. So, and then he explained that how only devotees can know the Lord. Multiple nice 5-6 verses glorifying the Lord are there. The Lord showers great mercy, and then finally tells about how the descendants, the uncles, would be delivered by Ganges. And then finally, Aṁśumān comes back, Yajna happens, Sagara retires, leaving the kingdom to Aṁśumān. Anyone has any other comments or questions, additions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, they also speak about Ganga Sagar, that trench that you said was 60,000 yojanas. It says that that place is Ganga Sagar, and it's a very pious place. That's per Wikipedia. Is that correct, Prabhu, or do you beg to be corrected?
There's mention about Ganga Sagar is the Bay of Bengal area.
Yeah,
Is
it says here Ganga Sagar in Bhagavatam.
Mm-hmm.
In the text 4, it says Ganga Sagara. The place known as Ganga Sagara was excavated by his sons in 8.4.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Mm-hmm. But that was before the horse being lost, right? Those two don't have a connection, it seems.
Oh, I see. Thank you, Prabhu. That's okay. Thank you.
So after that, he started the yajna. So the word sagar or ocean comes from this actually. We have discussed that the sons of Sagara, Sagar. So yes, that's a very auspicious place, and I think one of the places where Kumbh Mela also happens, Ganga Sagar Mela. So very auspicious where Ganga meets the Sagar. So thank you so much. Any other comments, additions, questions? Okay, so now this brings us to chapter 9, right? The Dynasty of Aṁśumān. So would someone like to read? It's a long summary. Maybe we can read 1 or 2 or 3 paragraphs. Yes, Sampada Mataji.
Yes, Babaji, Hare Krishna. Chapter 9, the Dynasty of Aṁśumān. This chapter describes the history of the dynasty of Aṁśumān up to Khatvanga, and it also describes how Bhagirath threw the water of the Ganges to this earth. The son of Maharaj Aṁśumān was Dilipa, who tried to bring the Ganges to this world, but who died without success. Bhagirath, the son of Dilipa, was determined to bring the Ganges to the material world, and for this purpose he underwent severe austerities. Mother Ganges, being fully satisfied by his austerities, made herself visible to him, wanting to give him a benediction. Bhagirath then asked her to deliver his forefathers. Although Mother Ganges agreed to come down to earth, she made 2 conditions. First, she wanted some suitable meal to be able to control her waves. Second, although all sinful men would be freed from sinful reactions by bathing in the Ganges, Mother Ganges did not want to keep all these sinful reactions. These 2 conditions were subject matters for consideration. Bhagirath replied to Mother Ganges, the personality of Godhead, Lord Shiva, will be completely able to control the waves of your water. And when pure devotees bathe in your water, the sinful reactions left by sinful men will be counteracted. Bhagirath then performed austerities to satisfy Lord Shiva, who is called Asutosha, because he is naturally satisfied very easily. Lord Shiva agreed to Bhagirath's proposal to check the force of the Ganges. In this way, simply by the touch of the Ganges, Bhagirath's forefathers were delivered and allowed to go to the heavenly planets. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I would like to pass on to some other devotees.
Thank you so much, Shitul Mataji. please. Yes, Shital Mataji, you can read. You're not audible. I see you're on unmute, but somehow you're not audible.
Haribol Prabhu, I can read.
Yeah, please go ahead.
The son of Bhagirath was Shruta. The son of Shruta was Nabha, and Nabha's son was Sindhupiva. The son of Sindhuvipa was Ayutayu, and the son of Ayutayu was Rituparna, who was a friend of Nala. Rituparna gave Nala the art of gambling and learned from him the art of Aswa Vidya. The son of Rituparna was known as Sarvakama. The son of Sarvakama was Sudasa, and his son was Saudasa. The wife of Saudasa was named Damyanti or Madhyanti, and Saudasa was also known as Kamal's father. Because of some defect in his fruitative activities, Saudasa was cursed by Vashishta to become a Rakshasa. While walking through the forest, he saw a Brahmana engaged in sex with his wife. And because he had become a Rakshasa, he wanted to devour the Brahmana. Although the Brahmana's wife pleaded with him in many ways, Saudasa devoured the Brahmana, and the wife therefore cursed him, saying, as soon as you engaged in sex, you will die. After 12 years, therefore, even though Saudasa was released from the curse of Vashishtamani, he remained sonless. At that time, with Saudasa's permission, Vashishta impregnated Saudasa's wife, Madhyanti. Because Madhyanti bore the child for many years, but still could not give birth, Vashishta struck her abdomen with a stone. Thus, a son was born. The son was named Asmak. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you so much, Guru. Yes, Shital Mataji, want to reply?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yeah, that's good now.
The son of Ashmaka was known as Balika. He was protected from the curse of Parshurama because of being surrounded by many women, and therefore he is also known as Nari Kavacha. When the entire world was devoid of Kshatriyas, he became the original father of more Kshatriyas. He is therefore sometimes called Mulaka. From Balika, Dashratha was born, and from Dashratha came Aidavidhi, and from Aidavidhi came Vishwasaha. The son of Vishwasaha was Maharaj Khatavanga. Maharaj Khatavanga joined the demigods in fighting the demons and was victorious. And the demigods therefore wanted to give him a benediction. But when the king inquired how long he would live and understood that his life would last only a few seconds more, he immediately left the heavenly planets and returned to his own abode by airplane. He could understand that everything in this material world is insignificant, and thus he fully engaged in worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari. Hare Krishna, back to you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much for reading. This is just a quick summary. We will be reading all these pastimes, how Dilip Maharaj and then later his son Bhagirath were instrumental to bring Ganga. And this story also is quite famous, how one can attain perfection in one moment. So he knew earlier like few seconds. So he attained perfection by fully engaging in the Supreme Lord Khatavanga Maharaj, who was also in this dynasty of. So let's start with this wonderful chapter, the Dynasty of Aṁśumān. We'll read the first verse. Yes. Pune Mataji, you want to read?
Sure, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Don't pranam everyone. Sisika uvacha Aṁśumān swatapas stepe Ganga nayana kamaya kalam mahantam nasak notatatam kale nastititam. Translation by His Divine Grace Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Sukadeva Goswami continued. King Aṁśumān, like his grandfather, performed austerities for a very long time. Nonetheless, he could not bring the Ganges to this material world, and thereafter, in due course of time, he died. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, back to you.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. So human life is meant for austerities. Tapasya, Tapodivyan. Rishabdev also says that. So all these kings are Raja Rishis, actually. They are kings, but they are doing austerity. So because austerity is meant to be done in human form of life. And now what kind of austerity we have to do in human form of life in Kali Yuga is chanting the holy names, getting up early, following Ekadashi, which is tomorrow, chanting the holy names, being humble, serving Vaishnavas, not fault finding, simple austerities, following the regulative principles. That's it, reading Shastras. But here, Aṁśumān was not really able to bring Ganges. Was he successful? Was it success or failure? What do you all say? Was he successful? Or failure? No one wants to comment, actually. It's a tricky question.
Well, yeah, if I may,
Okay.
I don't think it is not. I don't think he is a failure, Prabhuji, but at least he was kind of aspiring to bring Ganga to earth, to material world. So some form or the other, it would definitely come back. Not maybe he might not see it, but next generations might get that in a way. Whatever he done, it might pass on to the next generations. That's what I'm thinking, Prabhuji. But please correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, very nice. That's so true. And that's actually coming up now. That yes, he did his best. It's like I give this kind of example, like sometimes a wall has to be broken, let's say, okay? A wall has to be broken. Not the dry wall of US, the cement wall of India. The dry wall may break in a punch, but the cement wall won't. So big pahalwans, wrestlers are brought, and they are like, and this is made by Ambuja cement. Okay, so very special. So they put a lot of hammer, it didn't break. And then 10 more wrestlers were called. They started beating with their hammers. It didn't break. 10 more were called. And it didn't break. So 100 wrestlers, they tried a lot. It didn't break. But then one skinny guy comes and hits the last hammer, and then it breaks. Now the question may come, who broke the wall? Who broke the wall, right? Did the skinny guy broke the wall? Yes or no? So as the Canto Prabhu was mentioning, having great things, it may be a multi-generational thing because the legacy is passed. So to get great children, to get great, anything great, we must always pass on a legacy. That means the next generation should always be better than the current one. Not better in earning money. That's not what we mean better. Better in devotional qualities. So what we didn't get at our generation, we should make sure that we are leaving a better future for the next generation. better in all aspects, better in environment, better in spiritual environment, better in mental environment, physical environment. We should not be selfish, because great personalities, or you look at any great personality, they come in like multi-generationals of heritage. Is there. So, okay, and exceptions are always there, but the more we can turn odds in favor, the better it is. So, Aṁśumān may not be able to bring, but let's see what happens further. Actually, we already read in the summary that his further generations were able to. So it's not like sometimes it's like a what do you call, relay race? Like we pass on the baton. He did a lot of effort. He did a lot of tapasya, which never goes in vain. We have discussed that neha bikramanasas pratyavāya, to bring Ganges, which is the liquid form of God, right? We have discussed in the story of Vamana, liquid God. It's it. When God appears in the form of liquid, it's Ganges. It's not he's not doing tapasya for some mundane thing, right? So let's see this next verse, text 2. Yes, Avani wants to read.
It's Vedihi Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everybody. Dilipastad ashakta kalam evan bhagiratas tasya sutas tepe sasu mahatapa. Translation: like Aṁśumān himself, Dilip, his son, was unable to bring the Ganges to this material world, and he also became a victim of death in due course of time. Then Dilip's son Bhagirath performed very severe austerities to bring the Ganges to this material world. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, back to you.
Very well. Thank you so much, Adi Mataji. So same happened with Dilipa also. He also tried, but he also time with. So look at, I mean, they must have done thousands and thousands of years of tapasya. I mean, we should be so grateful to them, right? Today, now, going to Ganga, taking bath in Ganga, maybe we may not understand the value of what we are receiving, right? Because it's so easy. Okay, take your car, go to Haridwar, and actually, I used to love to go to Haridwar. Yeah, even with my friends and all, with my 10th grade, 11th grade, without even parents' supervision, we'll just go in bus. Or I didn't know a lot of like spiritual merits of doing that, but I don't know, I just used to go. My parents also used to take me. So bathing in Ganga was fun, more of fun than of spiritual understanding. But still, whether you know it or don't know it, the merit would be there. Spiritual merits would be there. The point is, it may be a very ordinary act. Thousands of people may live on the banks of Ganga, which millions actually live, because it's one of the largest rivers. And some people may even misutilize it by putting chemicals and washing clothes and whatnot and doing other wrong things. But the point is, look at these great Raj Rishis. They gave up their lives to give us Ganga, isn't it? We should be so grateful, actually. If it would not have been for Aṁśumān, Dilip, Bhagirath, we would have not received Ganga. We would not get chance to purify ourselves. Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita, Sakradeva Muraris, Na Kriyeta Yamin Churcha. Even little bit of Ganga water one drinks and one is purified. So, again, gratitude. We should always be grateful to those who have been instrumental to give us these blessings of the liquid form of God. So text number 3. Yeah. Yes. Canto, Prabhu, want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone. Text 3. Darshayam asatam devi prasanna varadasmite ityu uktah swam abhiprayam shasham savan nato nirpaha. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thereafter, Mother Ganges appeared before the king Bhagirath and said, I am very much satisfied with your austerities, and I am now prepared to give you benedictions as you desire. Being thus addressed by Ganga Devi, Mother Ganges, the king bowed his head before her and explained his purport. The king's desire was to deliver his forefathers who had been burned to ashes because of the disrespecting Kapila Muni. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So if you go back, thousands and thousands of years must have passed when Lord Kapila told someone that you have to bring Ganga. Who was the someone? To deliver your forefathers.
Bhagirath?
Lord Kapila told this person that you have to bring
Oh,
Ganga.
Aṁśumān.
Aṁśumān, yes. Very nice. So Aṁśumān continued a yagya or a vow, which Dilip also continued, which Bhagiratha was ultimately able to do. So,
Then what do I do? This is too big.
so we can look at the great sacrifice of these. So Ganga Mata has agreed basically to fulfill the desire. And king bowed down. It's not that first, So again, sign of humility. Whenever we go to the Lord or to great personality, it's not that we start explaining, hey, this is my desire, I want this. Always, even if we have to ask for something, we bow down, we offer respects, we do pranam, we do naman. And then even if we have to ask, we ask whatever, or intention, or the purpose of visit, or purpose of whatever. So let's see the next verse and the last one for today, text number 4. Anyone feeling really left out, wanting to read?
Prabhuji, can I read?
Did you read today? I thought
Yes.
you read. Let's give chance to have those who haven't not read, I think.
Can I read?
Okay. And those who didn't get chance today will get tomorrow. Okay, so don't feel better.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Kopi darayata vegam patantya me mahitale anyate bhutalam vitva narpayasya rasatalam. Translation by Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Mother Ganges replied, when I fall from the sky to the surface of the planet Earth, the water will certainly be very forceful. Who will sustain that force? If I am not sustained, I shall pierce the surface of the earth and go down to Rasatala, the Patala area of the universe. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So basically the force of Ganga, the Vega, will be so strong, Ganga Mata is saying to Bhagiratha, that you will not be able to sustain the force. Just imagine the force of Mata Ganga. It will penetrate Atala, Vitalas, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, Patal, all these planets, all these planetary systems. It will penetrate thousands and thousands of yojanas. It will penetrate. Can anyone match the force of Ganga? No. Is there? So basically, the Lord Mata Ganga is saying that that who will sustain that force? Right? It's a question. So we'll meditate upon that question in the glorious Mata Ganga, and it's also called Bhagirathi Ganga. Some places, because Bhagirath Maharaj was very instrumental in bringing. Of course, others were also instrumental. We have discussed that story. So let's meditate upon the Ganga and the glories of Ganga. And how many of you have been to Ganga or taken bath in Ganga? Or
We did, Prabhuji. Actually, at Ganga, our house is on Howrah, so Ganga is very nearby, like 30 minutes walking from our childhood. We able to take bath in Ganga.
that's amazing. That's why you're such a great devotee, Mataji. You're Dhamvasi. It is said that anyone who lives in these Ganga is basically liquid form of God. So anyone who lives on the bank of Ganga is actually a great soul. It's not a coincidence, right? That's why. Yes, Shital Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. I live in Patna, Bihar, Prabhuji's bank of Ganga. I've taken dip in Ganga many times. But yeah, since I moved here now, it's been a long, but yeah, while I was growing up, almost every occasion, every festival, we would go to Ganga.
It's wonderful. Actually, we all can take bath now also every day in Ganga. Do you know how? By chanting a special mantra.
Ganga cha, Jamna cha, Godavari, Saraswati, Narmade, Sindhu, Kaveri, Jalasmin, Sanidhim, Kuruhu.
Wonderful. So we can chant this mantra while we are bathing, while we are cooking. You can cook in Ganga water, right? All the holy rivers you come reside. While you're bathing, we can chant Ganga Mata Ki Jai, Yamuna Mata Ki Jai. Basically, one devotee, when we were going to Dwarka, said Gomati, 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 which is also a form of Ganga, is equivalent to taking bath in the Gomati. Same with Ganga as well. When we every day sing this in the Prema Dhwani, Ganga Mata Ki Jai, Yamuna Mata Ki Jai, we can mentally also take bath. And it will, just chanting the names of Tulasi, Ganga, Yamuna, Govardhan will give purification, what to speak of going there. So that's the power of these holy places and the holy names. So yeah, we can do that even now also. And of course, when we get chance, we should go and take bath in Ganga. Haridwar, Rishikesh, Patna, Bihar, Mayapur, Bengal. It purifies the whole country. Gangotri, where is the source. So you should try to go to all these holy places and make our life perfect. So we'll pause here for today and continue with the next verse tomorrow and see what happens. Who was able to bear that extreme force? We'll meditate upon this tomorrow. Shri Ganga Mata ki jai, Grantraj Bhagavatam Purana ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai, Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu. So much, Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.